Hi there, another quick Blackbox tip. Okay, this quick tip is going to be about multisampling. I'm going to show you how to multisample on the Blackbox, and I'm also going to show you how to load in multisamples you may have found somewhere else or made yourself on your machine, your computer. So let me just first show you why you want to multisample. So I have this patch called Mellow Glass by Oscillator Sync, and it's nice. I turned on the wobble a bit. So it gets a bit wobbly at the end, right? So I turned up the LFO a bit so it's a bit exaggerated and you can hear why it's important to multisample. So let me just check the levels here. Yeah, it's fine, okay. I'm gonna hit record. Okay, nice sample. Gonna see if it works. Yeah, so if you go up an octave, you hear that wobble? It's gonna get annoying or very fast. If you want this, of course, it's fine. But if you go up an octave even more, yeah, that's not... The LFO just starts oscillating, and that's annoying. And if you go down, well, down actually sounds pretty nice, I must say. But maybe you don't want this. Maybe you just want your note to behave like it did on your other synthesizer. So what you want to do here is, first of all, clear the sample. Go like this, clear the sample. What you can do is you can go here, one time, multi. Now the important thing is that you set up your MIDI correctly, or CV, but I don't have a machine that responds to CV. So you can also do the controlled voltage CV. The manual tells you how to set it up. I think you need to set your MIDI to one, like left or right, something like that. But it's in the manual how to do it properly. First, I'm going to set the file name, Mellow Glass, and I'm going to check if it's not. Yeah, it's almost distorting, but it's only if I play two notes. Now, what you can do with a multisample, you can specify on which monitor you can hear the what is being sampled. So I actually want to monitor this a bit. I don't know why it doesn't do out one, but I'm just going to do the left channel of out one so you can actually hear that it's being recorded. And then the start note and the end note is very important, because this is how many times it will record the sample. So it's important to specify which start and end note you want, because it determines how large your multi-sample will be and how large your range is going to be, which sounds nice. Then the next thing you need to be aware of is the sample every setting. The sample every setting means how many notes it takes for another sample to be recorded. So for example, you can set it to 6, so it'll be C, and then it will do the F, and then I think a sharp, something like that. But if you go for 13, which I'm just going to do for this example because otherwise it's going to take too long, 13 is going to spread it out by an octave exactly. So it's going to do this note, then this note, and then another octave. Let's see, this one. That one. Yeah? Okay. I'm just going to leave it like that, 13. And then the next thing that you will see is the velocity layers. Velocity layers means if you're going to, like on my vocal keys, you can't see my slider, but you can't see it changing. I can set my velocity very low, and it will sound very different than when I set it very high. You see, it sounds kind of distorted when it's very high. It's nice. So I actually want to have two velocity layers and be my max velocity be 127. I actually like that timbre of the high note. Note length, well, let's say 5 seconds. Is that fine? Let's see if that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so the wobble already comes in the 5 second thing, so that's fine. Release length 2. This is like this. So it will still record that tail, but it won't hold the note for that same amount of time. So Let's try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay, so the tail is gone. Perfect. Then the last thing you need to be careful of is a MIDI channel. This one is very important because this is, you don't actually have to do anything. The Blackbox will do it for you, but only if you set the MIDI channel right. I got this wrong a number of times, and my multi-samples were always a mess. So just check the manual or this video and set the MIDI channel to the correct MIDI channel. So I set my Volca FM to MIDI channel 16, and this I set my multi-sampling to MIDI channel 16. So when I press record, it will send out the notes, exactly those notes that you want to happen. I don't have to think about this. So let's just start and see what happens, okay? Here we go. I actually thought it was going to be monitoring now. I don't hear anything, but it is actually recording. You see that? You hear some plops and some ticks. I don't know why this is, by the way, but... And what you hear in the background is my sequence starting every time, and you hear the bleeps of the metronome. I don't know why. Okay, saving. Cool. Just gonna stop this because I turned off my sequence, I thought. Okay, now we have on our pads, we have the Mellow Glass sample, multi-sample, and I can go into it. And there's a number of things that are different to a multi-sample versus a normal sample. So if I look at the menu here, I only see these three options. If I go to another pad with this is just a single sample. It has a position, LFO, and the conf. It doesn't have that. So the position is gone. Let's just check. Yeah, position is gone, which means you can't specify how it will loop or something like that. Yeah, you can't specify where it starts. This is a limitation of the multi-sample, but I don't really care because it is great that I can add multi-sample at all. First, let's focus on the envelope that's generated. So the envelope is kind of weird because if I change the attack, that actually works, you know? So the attack actually skews the attack thing, but the sustain is not working as I thought it would be. Okay, so Future Fritz here. I went over the video again, and all of a sudden I had an idea. Maybe I should change the play mode. So if I change the launch mode from trigger, so trigger just whenever you press a button, it triggers the note, to gate, it actually works. So then the ADSR totally makes sense. So ADSR aside, let me just adjust it so it's nice. So what I want to check is if there is actually a difference in velocity, because I recorded two velocities. So you do see a slight change in the recording here, right? So if I play softer, you get a different waveform. It's slight, the difference, but it is there. You see? For example, especially this starting point. Softer, louder. So the louder one actually has a dampened attack. Interesting. Okay, but what I do find strange is this. I would have thought that the notes. Okay, so this is what was wrong. I recorded this one up to this one. That's why it sounds weird above that. Yeah, okay, so that makes total sense. Okay, so this is a way to record your multi-samples. I'm just going to switch to the computer and show you how to do multi-sampling on the, like dragging in multi-samples, wave files you have, and dragging them into the black box. Okay, and here we go. Okay, over on my laptop I have my sample pack by Cuckoo. It's Magic Piano. And I renamed all the files to have this postfix where it specifies the MIDI note. So how did I find the correct notes? I just went over to my tuner in Logic. You can probably do this a different way, or if you have acute hearing, or you can grab your guitar or your piano and listen to what it sounds like. I did this, and then you can hear the note. And let me just go like this, otherwise you can't see the tuner properly. So I just play the sample and let the microphone pick up the note. So let me just do it again. Be quiet so you don't hear my interference with the note. Yeah, so that's an A. This is a C. Perfect. So if this is a C, the 041, and this is an A, I need to make the file names correspond with the MIDI chart. So the MIDI implementation has different note numbers, and it specifies the pitch at which the note will be. So if you look at the octave, for example, okay, we see C1 or A0, that will be note number 33. So if you want to set it up correctly, just use this website. I found the ugliest one, but you can easily find it if you just say MIDI note numbers in DuckDuckGo or Google, whatever you use for searching. Yeah, so that's that. And then I renamed all the files to correspond with that note number. I just notice here that there's another number as well. I hope it won't interfere with my black box, but we'll see. So we have the multi-sample set up. On the machine, we recorded it. It works splendidly. I just need to be aware of which notes I am recording. I need to look into that a bit better next time. We also have the WAV files, and we renamed them to have all these note numbers behind it. So I'm just going to find my my sample. I put it in the Cuckoo folder because it's Cuckoo's Magic Piano. And I press load, and then be aware of this one. You need to press file load all. You might actually be able to do it on the folder here. No, I don't think you need to do. You actually need to go into the folder, otherwise it doesn't work. Okay, so load folder, and then Magic Piano, and then press load all. This one is important, this step, otherwise it doesn't work. So we set up the notes. We have everything in order. Let's see if it sounds okay. Oh, I still have my MIDI on this channel. And that sounds pretty good, right? Okay, now let's just change it to poly mode. And let's also change the sustain again. Doesn't really sound that good, does it? Haha. Okay, that doesn't sound good at all. Let's listen to this. So I might have confused my black box by having these two names. Look, if I go here, I have these notes, 01, and I also have the other numbers. So I might need to trim those numbers. I have another sample which actually works really, really well. So I'm just gonna try again later and see if it works. This one works really well. And it has the only has the note number and the velocity behind it, you see? Let's load that up. So that actually worked well. If we go higher, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Now, let me just push the black box a bit further, okay? Can I load more samples? Can I load another multisample? Let's try it. No. So after a while, your Blackbox will say sample slots are full. If I look into the manual tells me that it's at, I just saw I think it's 80. So 80 samples in total. So you can't have more than 80 samples in your whole Blackbox setup. And per pad, the maximum is 64. So just be aware that if you want to do this multi-sampling thing, be aware that maybe you only want to load in the notes that you want to play. Don't have like a bunch of multi-samples ready for just in case, but just you choose those ranges that you want to play. Maybe you have 2 octaves that you want to play, or you have some high notes you want to play, but don't go loading up stuff without cause. Yeah. So now can I load in more samples? Yeah. So I cleared my pad and now I can load samples again. So be aware, 80 samples in total, 64 per pad. But multi-sampling works, especially if you're recording from the Blackbox. It works really well. And I need to go clean up my files so that they don't have a double file name like this, or double numbers in the double digits in the file name. So this one is confusing for the Blackbox. I shouldn't have done this. So I'm sorry about this, but this is actually how you set it up for the Blackbox. The multi-sampling recording works really well, and if you drag in other samples from other from your computer or somewhere online, just be aware that you don't load up too much. Okay. With that said, I think I'm gonna play something.
Guitar is a motherfucker, ain't it?